Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of everyday life, inspiring others, and leaving a lasting impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, reigning pure international elite Miss Central Region. Join me as we explore the stories of extraordinary women shaping our world right here on Crown Chat. Hello and welcome to Crown Chat. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, and I'm excited to be back with you again and introduce you to one of the amazing women that is out there rocking her crown, rocking the world. And we're going to learn a little bit more about her right now. So welcome, Queen.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. Tell everybody watching who you are.
Sure. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kristie Saavedra. You may also see me as Kristie Dantuma. I didn't legally change my name after I got married, but I go socially by Saavedra, and I am your reigning Mrs. American Elegance 2023.
Wonderful. We do like American Elegance queens here. So you are not alone. And you were crowned by Lindsay, who just donated part of her liver, I think.
Yes, she is a fabulous, fabulous woman. And she was some big shoes to fill. Listening to her video when she was saying her farewell, I was like, oh my goodness, the next queen is, who, no matter who it is going to have some big shoes to fill. And boy, does she just keep amazing us all. So.
Yeah, incredible. But you're incredible. So you are the Mrs. Queen. Tell us a little bit about how you got there. Was that your first pageant? Had you competed before?
Sure. So I've been doing pageants for quite a few years now. I started when I was 16. I grew up in the Northern Illinois area, and the county fair pageants are very, very popular up there. And so I ran for my county fair title for 4 times. And I won on my very, very last try. And my claim to fame is that Crystal KV was one of my judges. And that is how I met Crystal. And now she's a fast friend and mentor. But I spent my reign just absolutely soaking in every single minute. And I was very, very lucky to have that title. Kind of dabbled around in the Miss America organization when I moved up here to Wisconsin. Didn't win any titles there, but that's okay. I gained some really, really amazing friends along the way who have led me to Mrs. Pageants. And that is where I have settled in, and I am very, very happy. I love working with all of these misses because we're here not because someone told us to be here. We're here because we want to be here, and we're trying to better our community. So it's a really, really amazing opportunity for women who are looking for something that's not quite as cutthroat. You know, we're still competitive with each other, but we're all there because we want to have fun, and we want to get to know each other and support each other. So it's such an amazing journey, having been in the kind of the Mrs. world now. This was my first time trying for the American Elegance title, and I was crazy lucky enough to win on my first try. But I've been very, very happy with the American Elegance system. You know, we all know that it focuses mainly on service and leadership in our community. And that was what really drew me to it, because it was not something where you could just have a title and set it on a shelf somewhere and forget about it. They really want their queens to be working. They want them to make impacts in their community. And a lot of their scoring reflects that they're wanting someone who is well-rounded, who is a good speaker, and who is willing to put in the work. So that was what really drew me to American Elegance. And I'm lucky enough to be a silver anniversary queen as well. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary.
Wow, that's amazing. And you weren't lucky. You're amazing. That's how it all happened.
I mean, I had some really great competitors. It was cut. I mean, even though it was just a couple of us, you could see how each of us would fit into this role so well. And I'm hoping that each of them comes back as a competitor this year, because it would be a huge honor to crown either of them into this title.
That's amazing. So you have a unique viewpoint because you went from kind of a teen world into the Mrs. world. What's the biggest difference competing, between as a teen and then as a Mrs.?
Yeah. So like I said, it's the mindset of the people who are in it. In the Miss America organization, there's money on the line. Those are women who are competing for scholarship, who, this is the make or break for them. I've seen women who have won thousands of dollars in scholarship that has made it possible for them to have the education that they have. And so I understand why it is highly competitive, that people are really, really looking to do their best and to be their best. but it's really that sisterhood that I found amongst the pageants who are a little bit less, it's really just about wanting to be there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've really noticed is a big difference is these women want to be there. They want to compete and have fun and better themselves and better their communities. So
Wonderful. So as the Mrs., how long have you been married?
My husband and I got married in November of 2019. We got married in 76 days from being engaged. And I've planned a few weddings in my time. I do have a couple of sisters that I've helped plan their weddings for. And he and I just really wanted to make sure that my entire family was there at the time my grandfather was dying. And so I wanted him there more than anything in this world. And I cannot tell you how many things fell into place to make that the wedding of my dreams. I didn't have to compromise on a single thing. And I still got to have that beautiful, beautiful wedding. And my grandfather was there. He did pass away that following January, so I did have him for a couple of weeks afterwards, but we ended up having the most gorgeous wedding. So we're coming up on this November, it'll be 5 years that we've been married, but together for 13. So we're actually high school sweethearts. So.
Oh, I love it. So he was around when you're in your teen pageant days and then evolving. So what does he think of this journey that's continuing?
He has been endlessly supportive, if not always just kind of like, I don't really know what you're doing, but that's okay. I'm here to be there. It has been a big transition of him kind of being on the sidelines of being like, I'm going to come to your pageants. I'll watch you, to him being really involved with it. He is very, very business savvy. And so he's been very helpful in helping me grow my platform and finding different ways for me for fundraising for my different community events that I'm doing. He is also the shoulder that I will always have to lean on and for support. And as someone who struggles with mental illness, it is so, so important for us to have that pillar. It's not always a significant other, but in my case, he's my best friend and he's been with me for so long that he's seen me grow from this scared teenager who I never would have dreamed of standing on a national stage, to now being like, all right, what's next? Let's keep going with this. Let's rock this. So he's really just been there and learning and growing with me. So it's been really cool to do together.
I love it. And I always love to see, and I guess I feel that I'm spoiled because my husband's the same way. He's all in and he's, I was at rehearsal at one pageant and he's out buying pantyhose and he's like,
yes.
He's sending me pictures. Is this the right color? So I love to see, because it makes it so much easier to have that partnership and that shoulder. So I love that for you.
And he goes into like personal assistant mode, like during pageanting. He's like, what can I do? Where can I go? He was the one who I completely forgot. I do like a setting powder of my makeup. And we had been at the hotel for the American Elegance pageant for all of like 40 minutes. And I was like, I need you to go to Sephora now because I don't have this. And we had just driven 5 hours from Madison. And he was like, all right, what can I do? He was always like, okay, what food can I get you? He was always there with the ice bucket at the end of the night for me to soak my feet. He really transitions into that role of assistant very well. And I would like to say that we've grown in that together. There's a lot less bickering on pageant weekend than there used to be.
That's awesome. Yeah. They get it. They support. So you kind of mentioned he's helped grow your platform. What is your platform?
So when you think of Kristie, there are kind of three main things that I'm involved with. There's one of the overarching theme of mental health awareness. So I myself have struggled with anxiety and depression for my entire life. And up until recently, that wasn't taken care of. So I am a big advocate for it. I go to talk therapy as well as I take medications for my support. And that has been something that I've learned to cope with. So that's kind of my overarching. I do a lot with NAMI, with AFSP, and a lot of the suicide prevention. Those two other things that kind of fall into next to that are my Lasagna Love and Becca's Closet. So I've been volunteering with Lasagna Love for just over 2 years, and we deliver lasagnas to people, no questions asked. To date, I think this weekend will be my 222nd lasagna. delivered across the Midwest since March of 2022. And that has been a huge source of comfort for me, because in the pageant world, you see these girls and they just go, 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 go. And my social meter cannot handle that. And so I need ways to connect with someone personally and make a very personal impact, where I'm not glammed up. I'm not putting on, turning myself on for the cameras, for whatever. I want that more personal experience. So that's my way of being able to say, let me help you in a very one-on-one way. And then my Becca's Closet as well. I've been volunteering with an organization called Becca's Closet since 2009. And we give away dresses to high school students for their homecoming, for prom, at absolutely no cost. And I found out about that because I myself grew up in a family that we didn't have a whole lot of extra money. And it was something that I was probably going to wear my sister's homecoming dress. Mm-hmm. I was like, I really don't want to do that. And ended up finding Becca's Closet, and I just loved the atmosphere. I loved helping these girls. I loved serving with these women. And I just was like, I can't go away. No, this is it. I love this. So that's awesome. Those are kind of my three big things that I spend quite a bit of my time on, where my passion projects are. So that's why we're meeting out here. Actually, my house, or my apartment, I should say, is currently filled with dresses because I just held a dress drive. And it is a mess of tulle and colors. And so I was like, we're just going to come out on the balcony for this.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And the outside suits you. So it works for us. No question.
I'm not much of an outdoorsy person, but I do love, being in the sun. I call myself a plant. I just need water and sunlight and I'll be happy. So
I love that. That's awesome. So for people that want to get involved, I know we have a lot of pageant girls that watch this, and, pageant people don't wear things more than once or twice, maybe. How can they get involved with Becca's Closet?
Sure. Becca's Closet is actually a nationwide organization. We have, I want to say it's 52, but I know we have over 50 locations all over the United States. So it's something that you can help partner with any of your local chapters. They're more than happy to take on a woman with a pretty crown, because that is publicity. That is someone who, as a volunteer, you can tell a young woman, you look beautiful all day long. But if you have someone come up in a crown and a sash and say to them genuinely that you look beautiful, that comes across in a different way. Yeah. And so being a volunteer in that way can be hugely helpful for these young women and their self-esteem. So there's kind of all over, but Becca's Closet has some Facebook pages. We're on Instagram. We do have a website, which I wish I could remember if it's beccascloset.com or .org, but if you search Becca's Closet, we're there. And that's how you can find out about if there's a chapter near you, starting your own chapter. I'm hopefully one day going to be getting one here up in Madison is my goal. But I'm currently working with the Becca's Closet of Beloit, Wisconsin. So it's something that there's tons and tons of ways to get involved. Holding dress drives. If you want to ship dresses to me, I will take it. I will give you my address. So it's just kind of, there's so many different ways to get involved.
I love it. Now, how are you spelling Becca?
Becca.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure because I didn't want to mess that up.
Yes, it's the kind of the traditional spelling of Becca. Okay. And it is beccascloset.org.
Okay.
Is how you can find us. And we were started by a young woman down in Florida who decided she was just, one of those effervescent women. And she saw that there was a need and started collecting dresses so her friends and her could go to prom at no cost. She tragically was killed in a car accident. And her parents started this organization in her memory. And I believe this is our 20th year anniversary of her death. And this is something that has grown from a small thing of 250 dresses in Florida and has turned into, 50 chapters all over the United States. Our closet itself has over 1,000 dresses in it. And those are all 100% free. We have shoes and accessories, and seeing their faces light up because they know that they get to wear the dress that they want to wear and not have to worry about spending $700 on a gown. is incredible. And that's what it's all about.
That's amazing. You're making an impact in such a huge way in three different facets where, I love how you mentioned how American Elegance, the importance is on community service
Absolutely.
and working, where you do see queens that win a title and you don't see them again
Yeah.
until the next year. So I love that you're so active and
Yeah.
doing so many different things.
Yeah.
Okay. So backtracking a little bit to your current title, what are the areas of competition to become
Sure.
an Elegance Queen?
Absolutely. So we're pretty standard as far as we have an interview that's one-on-one with the judges. It is a timed interview. Your next phase of competition is what we call the personal expression phase, where you have 2.5 minutes to express yourself in whatever way you would like. We have had women who have done an Irish step dance and then talked about how that has grown their sense of community. I personally talked about lasagna love, and I brought with this, a poster that had a map of all the places I've delivered lasagnas across the Midwest. But it's a timed speech where you're just expressing yourself in whatever way you want to. Some of my sister queens talked about their mental health. One of them talked about how she is in theater. And so how that kind of helped her come along with her self-expression. We have one of our sister queens is actually working towards her PhD at the moment. And is going to be a doctor. And so she talked about her journey with that. It's really 2.5 minutes to talk to the judges about whatever makes you you, and what your passion is. We do have your standard onstage question, which is kind of a let's just get to know you a little bit more. We have evening gown. And then my personal favorite, and this was the first time I got to compete in this section, was fun fashion. I had never in any of my pageant going years had the experience of doing fun fashion. And it's my new favorite phase of competition because you can't go wrong. There's nothing you can do wrong in fun fashion. It is about you having fun and wearing whatever you want to wear. And I was lucky enough to have a sister queen, Dawn Quedno, who is our current Mrs. Midwest Galaxy. And she let me borrow fun fashion outfit, which was this beautiful black rhinestone number, and I just had a blast wearing it. So it's a fairly standard as far as the phases of competition. There's nothing really all that crazy or outrageous. But as you can see, a lot of it is geared towards how can the judges get to know you? How can you present yourself as a working queen? And even the qualifications once you win are not super harsh or severe. My qualifications are that I need to do 24 events throughout my entire year. And those are quality events. I'm not just going to McDonald's and being like, hey, y'all, I'm at McDonald's wearing my crown, getting a McFlurry. They're looking for working queens, but they're also setting decent expectations up. We are women who have jobs, who have hobbies, who have lives outside of pageantry, but they're still looking for someone to put in that work. So it's something that really, really sunk into my bones. And I was like, this is a good system to get started in. So I'm very lucky.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You made a really good point about, you're women with jobs and with hobbies and different things. And you are a wife and you're a queen and you have a job and you're in 3 different areas as far as your service. How do you juggle it all and take care of you?
Sure. So I believe that one of the pieces of taking care of me is my job. I'm a veterinary nurse. And so my job is very taxing, but it helps. I have a servant heart, and I feel like that continues to help. It strengthens that bond as well. So I feel like that is a big, big part of, I do what I love every single day. I go to work excited about what's going to happen. I don't, I feel tired, but that good tired at the end of the day, where you're just like, I know I did a good job and I made a difference. I am also a gigantic nerd, and I love that I get to be my nerdy queen self with American Elegance. I recently posted one of my headshots, which I was so excited to take, with Maddie Jacobson of Magic Dreams Productions, and I am wearing my Dollar Tree Star Wars shirt that I cut up and made fancified. And he was like, no, we need to do this. I can see it in your eyes. This is what you want to do. And so I still get to have my nerdy times. This weekend, I'm very looking forward to, we have a Renaissance fair coming to town, and I am loving everything Renaissance fairs. For about the past 10 years, I've been involved in the community, and it is just so fulfilling to see all of these creative people coming together. So it's really about balancing my nerdy tendencies with my queenness. So I love that I get to mesh those two worlds together. So
I love that. I love it. And I love that you said your nerdy queen self, because I think every queen has something that people would be like, what? You know, to learn about them. So I think that's neat that you get that opportunity. So I kind of circling back, you mentioned how what really grew your passion for Becca's Closet was kind of your personal experience.
Yeah.
What would you tell your teenage self today? Like, what piece of advice?
Buy a house now. We are almost 30 and we still don't have a house. But in all honesty, stop thinking about what everyone else wants you to do. I was weighed down so heavily by outside expectations, and also expectations for myself that were not truly mine, you know, that other people had placed those on me, and to get help sooner. If I would have reached out sooner about my mental health, I feel like I would be in a better place. But it is something that, you know, I can't say that I have that many regrets in my life. But teenage me, oh man, girl, you're not fat. Oh man, I you know, you see your Facebook timeline pictures come up, and I thought I weighed 300 pounds looking at myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why was I so hard on myself? And pageants have helped overcome that negative body image. And one thing that I really loved about American Elegance is that we did not have a swimsuit portion of our competition. It was a part of every competition I had been a part of beforehand. And it was very freeing to feel like I didn't have to worry about, oh, is my tummy showing? Like, oh, my arms, like, oh. And that was my first time with a competition where I felt like, oh, all of this is so much easier. Now I don't have to think about being in a swimsuit. But here we are, summer is coming, and I just bought myself a new swimsuit, and it's a 2-piece, and I'm very excited to wear it. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to be a little bit better, more gracious to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love it. Goodness, we're almost out of time, and I talk to you all night. What is something else you want everyone to know about you, or to support or follow, or give us all the deets?
Sure. If you're looking into following my journey, I am on Facebook under Kristie Saavedra. I have a personal page, and then I also have my Mrs. American Elegance 2023 page. I'm also on Instagram. Twitter is too hard. I can't figure it out. So I stick to Facebook and Instagram. If you're looking to get in touch with me about lasagna love, mental health advocacy, or Becca's Closet, I'd love to chat with you. There is no gatekeeping going on over here. I want to get more people involved with these things. But I'm looking forward to spending a summer continuing to serve. I'm very proud of myself. I just hit my 57th event so far this year. My goal is to get to 100. We will see if that happens before the end of this year, because my husband and I are also hoping to eventually take a trip together or something. But I'm just really excited about what the summer is going to bring as far as getting to support my sister queens. I'm going to be heading down to Orlando to support all of my fellow Galaxy queens, which I'm very excited about. But it's just going to be, I'm very excited about everything that's happening, and I'd love to chat with you about anything Star Wars or Lord of the Rings related. If you would like to come with me to a Renaissance fair, let's do it. I am always down for a glass of wine and some Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I'm excited about how things are going right now. So.
I love it. And I have enjoyed our time. I'm so glad we were able to connect through pageantry. I've met such amazing women, and been able to share you with the world. I know that we talked about you crown your successor in November. Have you thought about what's next for you after that?
I'd like to continue with pageantry. I don't think this is the end for me. This was my first national title, and so I wanted to make sure that I gave it my all once I won, and I feel like I'm doing that so far. But I think I might need a little bit of a break after this. Who knows? But I'm really looking forward to continuing with my job as well as a veterinary nurse. I'm looking to potentially step into some leadership roles and working on things there. So plus we're small business owners, so we're trying to balance all of those sort of things as well. But pageantry is in the future. Where it happens, who knows?
I love it. I love it. Well, Kristie, I can't thank you enough for being on. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Remember, never let anybody dull your sparkle because they can't handle your shine. And we'll see you next time on Crown.